Hey guys, and welcome to the long-awaited YouTube channel that I have been dying to make. I just never honestly have time. I wish I did. I've really tried hard this time, and here we are. This is a little Morphe look I did today with the Jaclyn Hill palette. I know this voiceover in this video is just a trial run, so just bear with me through the whole video. Okay, so here all I did was I went ahead and I set my under eye, and then I went ahead and I concealed my eyes with my Rimmel London 125. It really works for me. I've always used it and I will continue to use it through every eye look I will always do. This is the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to go in with this color right here to go ahead and set my eyes and give a good transition shade for all my other shades. I'm going in with a Real Techniques brush. It's more the buffing brushes. It's not the one that's kind of blendable. It's just more of a buffing. It's really dense, so it allows you to really get the buffing, is what I'm saying, a lot into your eyeshadows. That way they're not all over the place. Now here, all I'm doing is I'm continuing to blend out those shadows. Really, it's just the one shadow I'm using, and it's Silk Cream. It's just really getting everything in together, because if you don't start with a good shade underneath your eyeshadows, it can look really patchy, and honestly, no one wants patchy eye. Here I'm going over the Modern Renaissance Love Letter, and Love Letter is my favorite one, as you can tell, and I continue to use that on most of my looks. This is just going to go in the crease to add a little bit more of a transition shade. Now, you may or may not see the transition shade at the end of an eyeshadow look, and that's okay. It just really, like I said, helps you get to where you need to be with your shadows. Now, make sure when you're blending these shadows, you're really staying heavy in the outside corner of your eye, not so much the inside corner, because that's going to cause your eye to look a little bit smaller than what it usually is, and no one really wants that. Alright, so as I'm sitting here blending, you can tell that the pink is getting a little darker, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want the pink to be a non-bright color, especially if you're using such a pigmented shadow like the Modern Renaissance. And if you do want a light color, just go in really light-handedly if you want, and don't pick as much up product as I do, because I tend to pick up a lot of product, because that's just me. Now I'm going in with my Morphe 35P palette, and I'm taking that color in the corner. Now these don't have names to them, so I can't really tell you the names. You just have to look at the palette yourself. And then I'm going in with this one right here, and that is the color Royalty. Now, I absolutely love this color. It's really pigmented, but the only thing is it's glittery, so you have to really work around it. Now, the shadow brush I just showed you is another Real Techniques, and that is what I'm going to use to blend out the shadows more, because you can't use a buffing brush for everything. Granted, some people do, but it's just difficult. And I'm going on one of my Tarte brushes right here, and just really making sure I'm getting a tapered edge on my crease. Now, I zoomed you guys in right here just to show y'all really in depth what I like to do. I'm taking this buffing brush, and as you look, I'm not going towards the inside of the corner, and if I do, it's after I have already blended out the outside. Now, once the outside is blended, like I said, you can drag it to the inside is what I'm doing. It's kind of just a personal preference of what you want to do with your eyeshadow. You don't have to do exactly what I do. You can if you'd like. It's up to you. Now I'm working on both eyes. Sorry, all y'all see is my eyebrows sometimes. But I'm taking that taper brush again and digging back into the 35P palette or Royalty out of the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and just building up my crease, because that's where you want the most color to be, is in your crease. You don't want it any above your crease. Well, you do, but not the heaviness of it. And if you see in the corner I messed up right there, take your translucent powder later or your concealer if you already have foundation on, and do that and just cut on it, just because no, you don't really want it to see. And as you can see, now you don't see it anymore, and you're going to let that sit for a minute or two, and then that's when you'll wipe it away, because then you won't see it. Sorry, I'm repeating myself a lot. Now I'm taking this now I'm taking this down onto my eyelid just to give it a little bit more definition, and that way when I put my other colors on my eyelid, it kind of has a background effect, or better known as a transition shade again. Now I'm actually really liking this palette color. I just haven't decided. This took a while to decide of what I want. I kind of just went into random colors and came up with this. I really thought the pink was going to show more, but unfortunately it didn't. And now y'all kind of know the drill with this. We're still blending out like crazy. And I'm taking any blending brush I have and just really getting in my crease, because like you said earlier, that's where you want your color to be. I'm taking that buffing brush again and just making sure, if you see I could have like a little line of stuff, I'm making sure that's not so, I don't know, so bold of a line. So we're going to take this blending brush now, and I'm going to take this into my crease and around my crease, just to make sure everything is evenly blended. And I also put some of the darker color called Royalty, or in the 35P palette. They're almost the same. And I put that in the inner corner of my V because that's when I'm going to add the other 3 colors into my shadow look. And when those are added, that is when everything's going to come together. This kind of looks messy right now, but it comes together, I promise. Alright, so I wiped away the translucent powder, and as you can see, that cut that I accidentally, well, that little patch of color that I took underneath is gone. Going back in with the 35P palette, mixing the 2 colors together, I'm going to go back onto my V and just build up that outer corner. And honestly, if you notice that my hazel eyes really aren't this color all the time, they're kind of a dark hazel. So if you have hazel eyes, purple is definitely your color. So I'm still building. Once again, sorry, all you seen was my eyebrows for like 20 seconds. I'm still building. You can kind of see a hint of the pink, not really that much, but it's there, I promise. And as you buff and build and blend, that pink can kind of show little hints of it some. Not much, but it can. It just depends on the amount of product you decide to put into your shade and into your eye look. Now I'm going in with one of my Wet n Wild brushes, and I'm going to use this for the blue color. It says it's blue, but to me it honestly resembles more of like a purple to me, and I'm trying to explain this in the video right there. You can't really hear it, of course, because I'm doing a voiceover because I sounded like an idiot. But eventually, whenever we come to it, I'm going to add the blue into the center of my eyelid. And then you just want to continue blending through everything. Honestly, eyeshadow looks are all about some blending. Even when you're doing a smoky eye, or even when you're doing something really small, it is all about blending, or it will look way too harsh, and it's just will look too harsh. So once again, I'm continuing blending. I know I'm just repeating myself right here, but honestly, I want to emphasize that blend, 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 because if you don't blend, everyone wants that perfect eyeshadow look, and without blending, you can't get it. Now here is again one more of the blending brushes. I'm not going with the buffing brush right now because I'm going to add the royal blue finally. Now if you look at it, to me, this just looked more purple and like blue than just royal blue to me, but it's very pretty. It's called Twerk, and like I said, it's from the Morphe palette, and once again, you're only seeing my eyebrow. But if you notice, it really to me looks more purple. But I have multiple royal blues, so maybe that's why. Now, if you look, what I'm doing, I'm putting it on with a flat brush. Now, you can spray it with Fix Plus if you want. I don't personally do that because to me, it just doesn't really do anything differently. And then I'm going in with that blending brush on top of it because you don't want that crease to be harsh. You want that crease to look flawlessly blended, or if not flawlessly, at least as blended as you can, because it doesn't look right, honestly. So as I'm blending this out, a lot of the color is starting to take off, and that's okay with me because if you know what you're doing, or if you really don't, you just add more product onto it. So I'm going in and I'm stacking back on with it, and what I did with the translucent powder, I honestly forgot I did this, is I just made sure my crease and my edges were more straight than they are rounded, because with my eyes, I have bigger eyes, and if mine are rounded, they just don't look right. Sorry for the forehead. Alright, so then that was it. I honestly just continued to do that, and I packed on the color Pool Party in the middle, and I don't know why. I think one of my videos just didn't record. I just got this camera and it just started messing up, so I don't know what's wrong. But here I'm adding some lashes, and on top of my already false lashes, I did my eyeliner. Now most of you are going to be like, what eyeliner do you use? All this other stuff. Most of my stuff honestly comes from Dollar Tree. My Wet n Wild brushes and all that, and even including my eyeliner, which I love. It's not a marker tip, so a lot of people have a little problems with it, but I love it. So this is the look so far. Of course, I'm going to change because I'm getting ready for work, but you want to make sure with your eyelashes they look fine, they look decent. You don't want them to look too fake, even though they are falsies. You want them to look good, and that's basically what I'm explaining in this video. I'm trying to explain the best I can everything I did, but I went ahead and did a voiceover instead. So I'm fixing to grab something that I got from Walmart, and they were 98¢, and I plan on using them in my Halloween videos, but I decided to go ahead and use them today. These are these purple gems. I want to make something different with this look. I don't want something that's just average. And so I'm putting this in the center of my eyelid. just because I was going to do it on my eyeliner, but something told me I really just didn't like it. So I decided to go in underneath my eye, and all I'm doing right here, I'm not doing anything extra, I'm just really trying to put on. Now you can put it on with latex, since it's around Halloween, a lot of people do have that. You can put it on with Elmer's glue or anything. I personally use eyelash glue, just because I know if my eyelashes are going to stay all day, this will stay all day. Now, we'll say something. I'm putting this on with my finger instead of my actual tweezers because they were somehow lost. And I do not recommend this because it's really a little bit harder to do, and it's just, if you have tweezers, you just grab it and you put it on. Now, I really don't recommend what I'm doing here either, putting it directly on your eyes, because I did say a few choice words, because it hurt. It burned. Everyone, if you've used eyelashes, you know that whenever you use eyelash glue, if it gets in your eyes, it burns like crazy. Now, all I'm telling you guys is, if you want to bronze up a little more, go ahead and bronze. You want to add some blush, add some blush. Do whatever you want to do. I personally bronze. I do not use a brown bronzer or anything like that. I've always used my ColourPop, and I love it. It's more of a beach bronze than it is a cut bronze to me. I just look like a pale skeleton when I use it. It may be what I use, but I've used multiple, and I still cannot find the right one. The only one that I could find close enough to what my liking was the Revolution one. To me, it resembles the size of the Marc Jacobs, but of course, it does not resemble what it is like in Marc Jacobs, because the Revolution was $7 and the Marc Jacobs was, I think, 40 or something like that. But anyways, you just go here and you want to start. I start toward my temples, and I have a little bit of a bigger forehead, and I go up onto my corners of my forehead. You don't have to do that. I do. If you have a small forehead, I do not recommend that, just because it'll make your forehead look a little bit smaller. Now, all I'm saying here is, if you want to, add some bottom lashes, because that's what I personally do. I've always done it, and I will probably always do it. To me, it just helps my eyes open up some more, and really helps everyone see the color of my eyes. And I just like it. I don't know. A lot of people don't. That's a personal preference. Some people even put falsies down there. I don't. Now, what I'm using on my lips, it is Back Talk by Urban Decay. I usually hate lipsticks like this, but I honestly love Back Talk. It is probably the only lipstick I will use like this. Other ones I use are the liquid creams and stuff, but it's really easy to apply, and the color is not a pink and it's not a nude. It's kind of like a mixture of the two. But here you go, guys. That is it. That is the makeup look, and here is my actual work look. I have my choker on from Francesca's, and my earrings are from Walmart, I think. I'm really cheap, I promise. Usually I look a lot better than this. I have to actually dress up, but we had the beauty event, so I wore a t-shirt to work. But there it is, guys, and I hope you enjoy, and please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see y'all again on the next one. Thanks, loves.